Hey, let's turn this into this. My name's Carolyn Dunn, and I'm a dot mandala artist, and I would love to welcome you to my channel. I'm so happy to be back painting again. Let's get started on this one, shall we? This is another 14-inch bamboo Lazy Susan, and I'm going to be painting the front of this in gentle heather, and I'm going to bring that gentle heather down the sides and just along the rim of the back. So I use my compass to create a line around that rim. I'll paint right up to that rim, leave the rest of it natural, and I'll sign it and varnish it, and the back will be done. To define this outer rim, I'm taking an Artistro paint marker pen, acrylic, in purple, and I've just taped it to my compass because it was too big to go through the little hole. So I've taped it tightly to that, and I'm just defining that line. That was with the Artistro paint marker pens. And this is our color palette. I used the gentle heather for the base paint, and I'll leave the color palette in the description box. Okay, let's get some varnish on this one. High gloss varnish. And this is just the back side that we're doing now. And I just run a wipe along the bottom edge in case there are any drips. Okay, we're going in with gentle heather. I'm going to brush the first coat on the top, and then I will roll out the second coat. I just don't have enough paint to roll it twice. So I started laying this one out as I always do with my white chalk pencil, and 0.5 centimeter increments for the circles and 16 segments. But I just couldn't see those white lines. My new glasses come this week, thank goodness, because I cannot see a thing here. In retrospect, or if I were to go back, I might use a watercolor pencil in a different color. And so that is what I did. I'm just using a purple Crayola watercolor pencil. Worked out great. And there we go. And of course, we'll brush off that excess chalk dust. Alrighty, using the 11mm tool, we're going to get that all-important center dot in the Dazzling Metallics Purple Pearl. Lovely. First round of dots will be in the white pearl. And we'll use the 1mm tool. The next two rounds of dots are in first the pink tourmaline and then the peacock pearl. And you could always use teal here as well. And we're using the 2mm tool. For this next row, we're going in with the 2.5mm tool and the peacock pearl paint. You could also use the teal paint here. I think this is the only place I use the peacock pearl. Okay, we're going in with shimmering silver, and we're placing some tiny little dots between these ones here. Perfect. Now let's take our 5mm tool and place purple iris dots around this center. You'll notice that I sketched in some flowers here. They span 2 segments, and the tip of them is 3.5 centimeters from center. Okay, so I wanted to try out some of my color combinations on paper, so I determined really that on the purple background, this is what I liked best. And it is Wild Orchid and then lavender, and the outermost part is purple pizzazz. You can also see that the center dot of that flower in the purple iris turned quite dark, almost black in appearance, so we will definitely be top dotting that. We're using the Wild Orchid paint here and the 0.5 millimeter tool for our uppermost dots, all the way around. And now we'll use the small end of this tool to walk the dots down. Now the lavender, and we'll make that dot a little bit bigger even though we're still using the 0.5 millimeter tool. And we're switching to the small end of the tool to run those dots down again. And now we're going in with the purple pizzazz, and as you can see we're still using the 0.5 millimeter tool, but we're just loading it with a little bit more paint. And now I'm going to run 3 dots down on either side of these flowers using the 0.5 millimeter tool, and when I'm done that I'll go back in with the small end of the tool and run the rest of the dots down. And now I'm switching to the small end of the tool. Beautiful. I love it. Now let's take this opportunity to top dot those purple iris dots, and we're using Vivid Violet and the 4 millimeter tool. And we will top dot those as well. We're just leaving a little rim of that purple iris. That gives it some pop, doesn't it? Okay, we're going to add some swooshes in here, and we're starting off with neutral gray for our first swoosh. We'll start with the 3 millimeter tool, and then we'll turn that tool around and use the smaller end to drag it down. Just like that. And our next swoosh will be in slate gray. We'll use the 2.5 millimeter tool to start, and then we'll use a fine tip tool to drag that down to a point. And now the lighter shade of gray will be in Morning Mist. And we'll start this one with the 2 millimeter tool. Now we're going to add some pink tourmaline top dots to those Vivid Violet dots using the 2 millimeter tool. While you weren't looking, I placed these magenta dots around the center using the 3 millimeter tool. And the distance from the center point to the outer rim there is 4.5 centimeters. I've also placed some pearl white dots above the flowers using the 4.5 millimeter tool. There, we should be caught up. Okay, so now we're just creating some little diamond shapes. So the top is going to be here, a 0.5 centimeter down, and then another 0.5 centimeter down. We're going to take our ruler, we're going to place a mark at a 1/4 centimeter on either side, and that will give us our side points. The height of this diamond is 1 centimeter. Now, you can always trace a diamond shaped mirror if you have that, or any diamond shape that you have, And that'll probably be easier. And we're going to fill these in with the teal paint. So I'm just using the 3mm tool to load some paint in there, and then I'll use the fine tip tool to define the edges. Just like that. So this is nice and dry now. I love how it's looking. And now we're going to go in with the white pearl paint to create tiny dots around those diamond shapes. Using the 2.5mm tool, we're going to create a dot above and below each of these shapes. And now we'll use the 1mm tool to place a dot on either side. And then we'll place 2 dots in between. We're going to create our first swooshes in lavender, and we'll be using the 2.5mm tool. Our next swoosh will be in purple pizzazz. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to add one more dot on top of the diamond shape in pink tourmaline, and using the 3mm tool. Now it's time for that purple pizzazz. Alright, let's get in there with our teal. Let's place some dots. We'll place 2 here, 1 here, and then we're going to walk those dots down. I'm using the 3mm tool, and because this paint has a tendency to bleed, I'm just doing 1 dot at a time, all the way around. So we got our 3 dots in, and now I'm using the 2mm tool to walk dots down the side. I'm going down the right hand side, and then I'll continue on with the left. And now the other side. So we're going to go in with the white pearl next, and I'm going to do some brush strokes. Now I've taken it off the Lazy Susan because you really need to be able to stabilize your wrist and your hand to do the brush strokes. I have a set of the Thoughtful Dots brushes, and I'm using the 2/0 to do these brush strokes in the white pearl. I shied away from brush strokes for a long time, and then I finally decided you won't get better if you don't do them. So here we are. To start with, make sure you get a lot of paint on there, all the way up to the ferrule. And then you're going to want to put some pressure on your brush in the beginning, and you're going to release that pressure gently as you follow down to the tip of your flower. Your wrist on that solid surface of the board is your stability for creating these swooshes with brush strokes. Now we're just placing some tiny pink tourmaline dots here. We're adding a little shimmering silver with the 3.5mm tool, right here and all the way around. Wonderful. Now we'll take some of that neutral gray and start another set of swooshes in there. And we'll use the 2.5mm tool, and we'll also use our fine tip tool as well. We're taking a fine tip tool and we're placing some tiny little pink tourmaline dots in this section here. I'm getting about 6 dots in this section. And while we have that pink tourmaline out, we're going to top dot these dots with the 1mm tool all the way around. And now we'll top dot these white pearl dots with some purple pearl using the 1mm tool. And now we'll carry on with our swooshes. We're using the slate gray now, and still the 2.5mm tool in conjunction with that fine tip tool if needed, or the small end of the 2.5mm tool as well. Now we're going to take that morning mist and go in with another swoosh. And you will notice that I have placed some sour apple green dots at the base of the previous gray swooshes using the 3mm tool. Oh, there we are all the way around. Okay, I'm going to create one more swoosh, and I'm just lightening up that morning mist with some titanium white, and we'll create the next swoosh. Now we're going to do a round of dots, and we'll be doing that in the wild orchid using the 3.5mm tool. So I'm just marking this so I can give you a measurement. And where those 3.5mm dots are going is between 9 and 9.5 centimeters from center in that space there. Now let's get those dots in, shall we? Now let's go in with the sour apple green and the 4mm tool, and we'll create those dots at the base of those gray swooshes all the way around. Just removing some of my guidelines in the center section there. Just wanted to see how that Crayola purple watercolor pencil would come off, and it removes beautifully. Now here I wanted to just split these sections in half just to give myself a reference. So they're about 4 centimeters each segment, so I'll mark them at 2 centimeters, and that'll just help me maintain my symmetry. And ooh, I love symmetry. Now we're using the 7mm tool and that dazzling metallic teal paint to create a dot just above each flower and each set of swooshes. So on every line. Now we're creating some petals around these flowers, and I place the uppermost dots using the 1mm tool in the pearl white, and now I've switched to the small end of that tool, and I'm just walking the dots down. Same tool, but in the wild orchid. And we'll walk those dots down with the 1mm tool as well. And we'll run those dots down with the 2mm tool as well. Okay, let's top dot those wild orchid dots with the purple pearl using the 2mm tool. Now we'll take our 2/0 brush and the pink tourmaline paint, and we're going to create some brush strokes outside of these flowers. Okay, I've gone in with the teal paint and I've created some swooshes here. I started with one dot above the middle neutral gray swoosh, and then I've taken 5 swooshes down towards the other flower and then a dot at the end. And now we're going to be doing that on the other side using the 2mm tool. It's so pretty. I love that. Now, while we have that teal paint out, we're going to use the 0.5mm tool, or smaller if needed, to place a tiny teal dot in between where the base of these brush strokes are. I'm just loving how vibrant this piece is. Honestly, my intent was to go in and create a soft, muted piece. I just can't do it. So that's 13 centimeters from center, right there. And now we're going 14 centimeters from center along here. Just gonna mark it so we know where we're going to. We're really just coming straight up from there. Okay, so we're all marked out, and we're going to be making a swoosh down. We made dot around that swoosh, and then we're going to be brush stroking. We're going in with this teal for the center one. And we'll start with the 3mm tool and then drag it down with the fine tip tool. Yeah, and I think that's about how far. Okay, so we have some lovely little swooshes down there. And now we're going in with the festive green to top dot the sour apple green dots. We're using the 0.5mm tool all the way around. And we'll use the 2.5mm tool for these ones. I like it. I had a splotch on one of my teal dots, so I'm just going around and redotting them all. Alright, back to those swooshes. We're using the 2mm tool to place the uppermost dot in white pearl. And let's walk those dots down with the 0.5mm tool. Okay, there we are all the way around. Alright, so I've taken it off of the Lazy Susan because I want some stability for my wrist. And as we're getting towards the outside, you'll also have to use your left hand sometimes to help stabilize. I'm using the 5/0 brush here to create these swooshes, and I'll be starting with the neutral gray. But before I do that, I'm going to place a pink tourmaline dot using the 3.5mm tool right here above our swoosh. Okay, now I'm just doing a test run with a damp brush to see where I want my swooshes to go. And now we'll go in with the neutral gray. And I'm choosing to do all of the ones on the left hand side first. And now the other side. Beautiful. Now let's create some purple pizzazz swooshes using the 1mm tool. Alright, we're still using the 1mm tool, and we are going in with lavender. And now for the wild orchid. Now I've lightened up that wild orchid with a little bit of white, and now we're going to put in our last row of swooshes. Good morning, my friends. I'm going to start with some dots at the base of those, and we're using the sour apple, and we'll be using the 5.5mm tool. And now we'll create a row of dots around here in the magenta using the 4mm tool. All the way around, my friends. Now we're going in with the 2.5mm tool to top dot those magenta dots with pink tourmaline. to top dot those sour apple ones. We use a 2.5mm tool and that festive green paint. I'm feeling festive. Okay, we're making some little diamonds coming straight down, and I want them to meet at this point, 1/2 centimeter either way, and then we're going to meet at that point at the bottom. And again, if you have some little diamond shaped mirrors or cutout shapes, go ahead and trace them all the way around. We'll get some paint into our diamond. Okay, we're going to do dots around those diamond shapes in the white pearl, and I think I'm just going to use the 0.5mm tool. Create a dot above, a dot below. Okay, and then I think I'm going to use the smaller end to dot between them. All done. Now we'll use the 8mm tool to place a sour apple dot in between the diamond shapes. Our next step is to place 2 pearl white dots above the sour green apple dot using the 2mm tool. Alright, now I'm just testing the 0 brush from the Thoughtful Dots white set to create swooshes on either side of the sour green apple dot with the teal. And I think that brush is just the right size. Now we're going to use the 0 brush again, and we're going to start with the purple pizzazz paint to create some more brushstroke swooshes. And you will see that I am carrying these brush strokes over the edge. You'll be able to see all of them come over the edge and have a little artistic swirl at the bottom. Now we'll go in a little bit lower with the lavender paint on these next swooshes, and we'll drag that down to a point and just drag it down the edge a little bit. Using the same brush, the last color we're going in with is Wild Orchid. And once I've finished these, I'll go around and tidy up the rim of that piece. There we go. Now we're going in with the 4mm tool to top dot those sour apple dots with the festive green. And I do want to take this opportunity to thank all of you and all of my subscribers for sticking with me through this 6-month or so period where I haven't posted. I'm not sure if you're all aware, but I had a hard drive failure. It devastated me because it had over 3 years of my work on there, and foolishly I hadn't backed it up anywhere else. So yeah, I was pretty devastated and didn't think I was going to be able to recover the data because it was ridiculously expensive. So I even stopped painting for a while after that, and then we had a move thrown in there. So anyhow, my son found a place that was able to recover most of the data. You'll notice the last video is a little glitchy, but I'm just so thrilled, and it didn't cost an arm and a leg. It cost enough, but anyhow. And now I'm back painting again and in my happy place. So thanks for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. What do you think? We'll clean it all up, get rid of our guidelines, see if we need to add anything. I'm wondering about top dotting these. Could even be in the white. We'll see. Just wiping off my guidelines now, and I'm telling you that watercolor pencil is coming off like a dream. And I'm just using a damp microfiber cloth. I want to make sure you get into anywhere, especially these, where you've got lots of tiny dots close together. And then I'm just going to come around the edges here. Now I want to show you with the edges, I brought those flowers or those swooshes down below. So I'm just going to tidy them up and give them a nice little artistic swirl there. And then we'll be ready to let this dry, and then we'll give it some varnish. Okay, so in order to get at my sides, I've got to raise it up a little bit. So I'm going to take my handy dandy sour cream containers and I'll place them underneath. And I always place something over top of these before I put it on because they tend to have little gluey bits on the back. Now I'm just using this disposable eyeliner brush to do any touch-ups on those swooshes that come over the rim. And we're going in with Wild Orchid. Now I'm going in and doing final touch-ups with the base color paint. Ugh, how long has this been here? Okay, we're gonna have to clean that up. It's really dry and stuck on there. Maybe this will work. Some of it, but not all of it. I'll try my plastic scraper with very small and deliberate motions and a very tiny piece of sandpaper until I get it smooth enough to paint over it again. I'm going in with a little bit of base paint first, and then I'll recreate that swoosh. And no one ever needs to know. And lastly, let's go in and create these 3 top dots using the small end of the 2mm tool with the white pearl. And then the painting shall be done. Okay, my friends, we are finished the painting, we're finished the tidy up, and any touch-ups we need to do. And now we're ready to varnish, and we're going in with the Liquitex High Gloss Varnish, and I'm using a high density foam brush. I have it lifted up on my sour cream containers, and now I'm removing any little bits of dust that might have accumulated overnight. And we'll start by pouring some of that varnish around the rim. And I'll put 3 coats of varnish on this, and then she will be done. Well, I love it. What do you think? It's not often that I use a background color other than black, but I am really enjoying this piece and I think it turned out beautifully. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, as you always do. And remember, keep on dotting. It's the only way to live. See you at the next one.